It's always helpful in a conversation around programmatic to define what it is, because if you talk to three people, you'll probably get three different answers on programmatic. And if we just talk about it at a very basic level, it's data and a technology platform and inventory coming together to allow us to package things in a new and different way. So we've been doing that for quite some time. Our kind of trading desk offering, which is not, we don't equivalize kind of programmatic with trading desk. Those are kind of two separate things, has been operating for 4 or 5 years. Cadreon existed for 4 or 5 years, but now it's kind of pervading everything that we do. So we have invested in a lot of data assets to allow us to put together a kind of a single source view across multiple screens. So as usage has kind of gone from PC and TV to now, whether it's an over-the-top device, a Roku or a Apple TV, or a mobile device, we need a single source way of looking at that. And we've invested in a lot of data assets to allow us to do that. So we're in this space far more now than we were kind of 3 or 4 years ago. But if you think about the composition of the business that we do, you talk about the two poles, the two ends of the poles. One is kind of high-touch strategic custom work, and the other one is programmatic on the other side. We have largely played in the center, in that fat middle, right? That's been 60 or 70% of what we've done has been kind of direct buyer-seller, premium inventory, and a little bit has been custom, hard to scale, and a little bit has been programmatic. There's a clear and distinct migration to those poles. So we're doubling down on both sides of that equation, and we expect that fat middle to kind of be smaller over time, which makes a lot of sense. Better performance for clients, more effective and efficient for us as an agency.
Where do things stand in terms of, cross-platform measurement? Is it where you want it to be, or where does it need to go?
No, it is not where we want it to be. It is better than it was a year ago, and I expect it to be better in a year from now. And I'm not going to suggest that it's an easy problem to solve, because there are just so many platforms, and in a world where we have limited kind of, so Nielsen as an example has a relatively limited size panel for TV. That panel for TV has to get changed when you think about mobile devices and tablets and over-the-top solutions. So we built it ourselves. We built a kind of single source view of consumers across channel, housed at Experian, has lots of different data as part of it, because there wasn't a solution in the market that gave us the speed and rapidity of measurement that clients demand. Eventually that could be different. So we've ingested Nielsen data, ComScore data, Rentrak data, client first-party data, done Humby data, Polk data, to come up with this thing called AMP, Audience Measurement Platform, that allows us to measure that kind of very, very complex ecosystem. There is a lot changing for media agencies. At the very kind of core, fundamental, foundational level, we have spent a lot of time in the planning side of the business, strategy and planning, using relatively gross instruments to do that. Panels that are instrumented once a year, MRI, Simmons, etc. We live in a world that changes far more rapidly than that. So we've moved from kind of panel-based surrogates to real-time, in-market optimization, which has necessitated a whole different mindset. So analytical planning, or people that are comfortable with data and analysis, to be more on the media planning side than simply just looking at kind of historical what has happened in the past. Because what's happened in the past is not a good predictor of what's going to happen in the future anymore. The world is just changing too quickly.